Success and Money Foundation. We're going to talk about your bucket list. Now, what's a bucket list? Well, all kinds of people have different names for it. What's a bucket list? Well, it can be what are the things you want to get done before you die? Okay. Now, the sad thing is nobody knows when you're going to die. So you got to get busy. You got to get busy and get some stuff done. And it doesn't have to be a bucket list. What's on your list? What are the things that you want to do? What do you want to, how do you want to make an impact on this world before you go? You came in with nothing. You're going out with some clothes on your back and the knowledge if you did good or evil and if you help people to have a better life. At least that's my philosophy on it. Now, what I want to talk to you is I want to talk to you about this system that I use that I learned in high school that I've refined and added some new pieces to it. But it's kind of how my mind works. And I tell my wife when I get up in the morning, I feel like that there's a pool table. We have a pool table down in our basement. And like our grandchildren came over there and they got all these pool balls and they're just throwing them all over. And there's all kinds of messes all over the place. So it's just crazy. And I've got there's 15 pool balls and a white ball on there, and they're all over the place, and there's no organization to it. And that's how a lot of people run their world, is they're just got all kinds of stuff. For me, what I do is I want to be able to organize those. I want to put them into chunks, and then I want to create a plan so that I can go knock as many of those balls into their hole and win. Now, one of the things that I do every day is I go for a walk. I go for a walk first thing in the morning, as early as I can. And for me, I got this little notepad right here. And there's a place I go walk that's not too far from here. I've got a couple pens in my pocket. And my goal is to simply write stuff down that needs to get it out of my head and on paper. And once it's on paper, then I don't have to juggle it. So many times you're just juggling. You're juggling all this stuff and you're out there and you're juggle. And it's nice if you can put it down on paper. Now, what I've got is now I've identified where all the pool balls are on the pool table. The next thing is to chunk them in different groups. So all the ones that have a stripe on them, I can put over in one corner. The ones that are solids, I could put in another corner. I can then split those solids up into smaller numbers. There's 15 balls out there, so I'll probably put three in a pile, and I'll put them near, and I'll just literally move them over by the hole, because now my goal is now I've got chunks. Now I have to decide, well, what's the next most important thing to do? And then I look at those, and some of those I'm going to knock in today. Some of those I'm not going to touch. Some of those I'm going to ask other people to go do for me. And some of them, they're just going to sit there. It doesn't matter because it's not important to me. And I literally go through and look at all the ones that are on there, and I come up with a number. One, got to get done today. It's important. Got to get done today. What's the 20% of the things that you do that get you 80% of your results? And are you spending the vast majority of your time in that 20% that get you 80% of the results? And for some people, it's about 10% of what they do. And if you're a specialist, it's probably about 5% of what you do get you 95% of your results. And we want to keep you doing those things. When I was working very closely with Robert Allen, I hired somebody just to do the extra things that he had to do so I could keep him doing the things I needed him to do, which was writing and creating materials, because he's just a genius at that. And so his 5%, I wanted him doing that all the time, not going to pick up his dry cleaning. You get the idea? So that's the idea. What's the 5% that gets you the results? What's the 10% that gets you the results? What is the 20% that gets you the results? And then what you do is you've got this nice pool table. Then you literally go move the balls where you want them. And then you get out the white ball and start knocking them in. So we call that chunking. And I learned that off my good friend, Tony Robbins, about chunking. You got all these things floating around. We're going to chunk them into different chunks that might have, like on a pool table, you might have 5 chunks with 3 balls in each one of them. And then we're going to number which ones are the most important to go do. We're going to leave some alone. We're going to send some of them to somebody else to do, send as much as possible to somebody else. And what are the things that are so important that you are the best at, that I want you to be able to spend that quality time with. So I want to take you over here and to go to our little iPad and start drawing stuff out. And I'm going to show you how the chunking works. And we're going to use a bucket list because that's kind of fun to be able to do. So as we talk about a bucket list, the first thing we want to do is try and create a few chunks. And there's two ways to do that. Number one is just to create a list. And what I want you to do is I want all of you to pull out a piece of paper right now, and I want you to create a list. And what we're going to do in the next couple of minutes, and if you're watching this video, that's awesome. I want you to create a list of all the things that you want to do before you die. I don't care if it's realistic. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much money it is. I don't care about any of that. All I care is that there is a list. So I want you to start creating a list. And as you're doing that list, I want you to start throwing that into the chat so we can see it. And we're going to create kind of a fictional person's list of all the things that they want to be able to do or go. So I've got some people in here that have already put some pieces in here. And we're just going to make this fun list. So some of it's for travel, some of it's for home. I've got a bunch of people who would like to own a home. I got people who would like to own some real estate. Okay. Travel. Let's talk about travel on here. We got people who want to travel to Thailand, which I've been to, which is fabulous. I got people who want to go to England. I got people who want to go to Europe. Got people who want to come out here to the USA. And in USA, some of them want to go out to Florida, go to Disneyland. Some want to go to California. Someone want to come out where I'm at in Utah. Okay. Keep them coming on here. Somebody wants to see the Northern Lights. Probably I've seen those when I was in Canada. I've got people who want a home. Some people want to come out here and meet me. That's awesome. Also Disneyland, looking at a few other ones here. Somebody wants to own a car. Hey, want to own a car. That's great. Someone wants to have a free and clear house, free and clear, where they don't owe anybody anything on it, which is great. Some people want to own a business. Okay, good. These are great. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I got somebody that wants to be a best-selling author. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So it's on my bucket list because I've done just about everything else. Jay wants to ride around the world with a bike. Okay, that's pretty amazing. See the world. And he's going to want to do it on a bike. Okay, that's interesting. Jay wants to go around the world. I've done that with my kids. I've taken my two youngest kids around the world. We went east and didn't stop. It took us 5-6 weeks. Went around the world. We got somebody who wants to do some walking. Okay, so that's really a great place. So you can see this is a list of stuff that you want to do. Now, for ease of illustration here, I'm going to use world travel because it'll be really easy to kind of chunk these things up. And so we're going to do a one on world travel. So what I do next is I come down here and I put travel. But if I was going to do a bucket list with all this stuff on here, I would just say the bucket list. And then I'd come over here and I'd say travel. And then I would want to have some real estate. Okay. And then I'd like to be an author. So they're different pieces. Okay. And they're separate from each other. And then I would create that. Now I'm going to take travel. Now I'm going to say, okay, travel. Let's go up and do travel. So I just come up here and say, okay, here's travel. Now on our example here, we had people that wanted to go in all kinds of places. Where do they want to go? They want to go to England, Europe, USA. So travel, Europe. Okay, Europe was one of those. USA is one of those. Asia, I'm going to just say Asia is one of those. And one of the subgroups to Asia is Thailand. One of the subgroups for Europe is England. Europe would be, in many ways, would be Germany. France. We don't like French people. They're rude. Let's go to Switzerland. They're nicer. Okay, so as you can see, as we're building this thing out, USA, we got some people who want to go to the USA. Well, where do they want to go? Some want to go to Florida. Some of the people want to go to California. Some of the people want to come to Utah. Okay, so as you can see, this is the designs of the bucket list. Then I go, okay, well, if I was going to go to California, what do I want to see in California? Well, I want to go see the beach. That's for sure. I want to be able to go to Disneyland. I want to go to Universal Studios. And we're doing the Olympics. I want to go see the Olympics. And then what you're doing is you're going to look, okay, now I can concentrate just on California. So as I look at this, I'm not juggling this. This is where everybody gets into trouble, is they're juggling all of this. What I'm doing here is I'm chunking all this together. And then I'm going to chunk that together. Okay. I'm going to chunk the biking over here with that as well. And you literally creating chunks. So now as I'm looking at my world for travel, I can just look at USA. Well, California is on there, and then I can look at the subgroups here. So the beauty of this in your mind is you're not juggling everything. You're only juggling what you want to be able to see into chunks. So if I'm going to come to Utah, come see me. I live in Provo, Utah. Some people want to go to Salt Lake City. Some would like to go see Zion's National Park. Somebody would like to go skiing. You know, we do have the Olympics coming in a handful of years. And so you can see the idea is to chunk down, chunk down, chunk down. Then you're going to come say, okay, what's the most important thing? Well, Disneyland's number one. I really got to see that. Number one. And I'm going to wait and come during the Olympics. I would like to see the Olympics and I want to go see the beach. So now you know what's important as you start to plan where you're going. So on your bucket list, that's how you get started, guys. Now, what I like about this is that it helps me to get unconfused because I've got all this stuff that I've got to do that I want to go do. And now I can put it into smaller chunks. And then I can concentrate on this one right here. And then I can make plans for that one. That's how I do most of the stuff that we do. So when you're doing this, that's the way you do it. Number one, you come up with all the ideas that you want to do. Doesn't matter. Number two, we put them into chunks. And then number three is we start to prioritize them. And then number four is we go do it. And you go do it. Now, the reason I like this so much is because it really helps you to move step by step. And then as you get these things done, you can cross them off. On my bucket list was to travel. I've been to 50 countries. I had an older brother that when we were both in college, he had a friend and they went around the world. He had kind of a gap year and they went around the world. I always wanted to do that. And so many years later, I took two of my kids. We went east and didn't stop. And that was fun. And this is how I designed it, was the exact same way I'm doing it here. So as your bucket list, this will help you to decide what's really important, make it so it's not confusing. And I also use this same system when I have stuff to get done during the day. And so literally I'll get up in the morning, I'll write down all the things that's in my head, what's on the pool table. I usually go for a walk. And that's where I'll write stuff down. I'll come back, I'll put it on another piece of paper. So now it's not in my head, it's in my subconscious, but it's not in my conscious where I've got to juggle it. And then I'll mark down what I can have other people do. What are the other things that I have? Because I got great people working with me that are better than I am. I mean, Ethan and Josh are just in graphics and computer and stuff like that. Daryl and his team, they're better than I am. And so the best thing for me to do is to get those things onto their list because they're so much better at it than I am. And then there's a handful of things because of my experience are things that I've got to do that help move the foundation along. So that's kind of how you do it, guys. That's how I use a mind map. That's how I use the system. And if you'll do that, I think you'll get your unclogged because you're juggling so much stuff. Now what we do is we get that big list. Then we create it in chunks, and then we number those chunks, what's important, and then we get rid of a bunch of it to have somebody else do, and then we concentrate on the things, and then go say, what's the one thing I really want to get done today? that I want to kill and just pull the trigger and get it done. And we try to get it done so it's not out there floating around, and we shoot it. And that's what we do in the foundation. We come up with what's important. Everybody comes up with what their list is. And then we kind of help decide what's the most important to us feedback. And then they go kill that one thing or two things and get it done. And then it's a check mark. And then we build upon that. That's the system, guys. Hope that's helpful. And I want to come back and I'm going to take you through some more stuff